Sunhak Peace Prize.
Namsa Hamnida, Dr. Haq Jahan Moon, thank you for this incredible honor. I want to acknowledge the Sunhak Peace Prize Committee, Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, His Excellency Macky Sall. I also want to acknowledge His Excellency Goodluck Jonathan, fellow laureates, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I accept the Sunhak Peace Prize with enormous gratitude, and I accept it on behalf of our team at Global Citizen, our partners and the artist and advocacy communities who selflessly help make all of our work possible. At the beginning of my career, I had the opportunity to live and work in KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. It was a period of renewed optimism following Nelson Mandela's leadership in the 1990s, but it was also a period of great despair at the epicenter of the HIV/AIDS pandemic, leading to a massive inequality and a generation of children orphaned by the pandemic. And while I've been passionate about ending extreme poverty all of my life, the founding principles of Global Citizen were inspired by the words of the late Nelson Mandela, who said in one of his final speeches in Trafalgar Square in 2005, he said that overcoming poverty is not a gesture of charity, but an act of justice. He said, like slavery and apartheid, poverty is not natural. It is man-made and can be overcome and eradicated by the actions of human beings. Mandela's vision has remained the North Star for me throughout my life, inspiring so much of Global Citizen's mission and my work. I believe that succeeding on critical issues like a sustainable climate and giving every child access to a quality education, much like achieving lasting peace, demands an unwavering commitment to justice. A collaborative effort that doesn't stop with promises made, but ensures that world leaders turn these commitments into real, measurable action. The movement that we've built at Global Citizen is testament that anyone can drive significant impact. And having seen firsthand in South Africa and the Philippines the systemic issues that keep people trapped in poverty, I teamed up with a group of friends when I was at university to launch our first ever campaign ahead of the G20 leaders coming to Australia. We created a rallying cry for the world's most marginalized, a concert, Make Poverty History, headlined by Bono and Pearl Jam. And to our amazement, the Australian government heard our collective voices, and they agreed to double investment into international development, an additional $6.2 billion to help end extreme poverty. Following that campaign, we had the opportunity to bring our advocacy model to New York City, and we've used our platform in Central Park for over a decade to campaign on some of the most important issues of our time. But today, our reach goes far beyond our annual festival on the Great Lawn of Central Park in New York City. At the invitation of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Global Citizen brought Coldplay and Jay-Z to Mumbai, India, for one of the biggest concerts the country has ever seen, gathering 150,000 people in support of their Clean India campaign. To celebrate Nelson Mandela's centenary, we convened a spectacular campaign in Johannesburg, headlined by Beyoncé, Ed Sheeran, Vedder, Pharrell Williams, Chris Martin, and Usher. And this event, most importantly, galvanized hundreds of thousands of global citizens to take action, inviting President Cyril Ramaphosa to commit $129 million towards menstrual health hygiene programs, enabling millions of girls access to quality education. And when the world shut down with the COVID-19 pandemic, Global Citizen campaigned and produced One World Together at Home. It was the only broadcast during the lockdown to be shown in Russia, China, and the United States simultaneously. It aired on every major US network, broke 2 Guinness World Records, and was seen in over 400 million homes around the world. It was a global moment that raised $127 million for first responders in one night. And through partnership and collaboration, we have built the world's largest movement of action takers, impacting billions of lives by defeating poverty. And over the last decade, we've mobilized and distributed $49 billion, improving the lives of 1.3 billion people worldwide. Our organization empowers individuals to take action, to tackle the world's greatest challenges. We believe that development is the only way to enshrine a lasting peace. But peace is not just the absence of violence or conflict. Peace is freedom and dignity, and I believe it is something that only comes about through true global citizenship. During challenging geopolitical times, we see up close the dangers of parochialism and isolationism. Look what happens when we ignore humanitarian crisis or when we turn a blind eye to climate change. Leaders who do so at their own peril and that of global stability. These are all ultimately man-made global issues, and as such, they can ultimately only be solved by global citizens demanding global solutions from their leaders. I'd like to commend and acknowledge the work of my fellow Sunhak laureates, Dr. Matai, Dr. Uwuha. It's a great honor to be recognized alongside you today. As Nelson Mandela said, we must never forget that that which is man-made can be overcome by the collective actions of humanity. Global Citizen is humbled by this recognition of our work to achieve this mission. Thank you sincerely.